My name is Dumelo Mailula. I run a company called Juxtapose. We've been operating for about 9 years now, since registered in 2007. I basically went into architecture when I was still in high school. I studied technical drawings and engineering in high school, and I've basically been designing houses from grade 10, and it was literally natural for me to go into either that or engineering. But it was through a friend who said they appreciate the work that I do, and I had already started trading basically in high school, and I ended up studying architecture instead of engineering.
I started Morris Cuisine Catering in 2009. At the time I was still working in corporate, so I was really part-time in the business. Between my husband and I would share some of the duties of, looking for client and serving the client. I'll do the cooking and he'd do the delivering. And we're 7 years strong now. And the reason I was drawn to this industry and this business is just my love and passion for food. I love great food, I love cooking. And it soon dawned on me that I could make a business out of this.
I'm Nolan from Nolan Interior Designs. We supply and install built-in furniture to the private and retail markets. I got into this industry, the kitchen industry, in 2006. I started working for a company called Home Concept, and I started in sales. And from 2006 to 2013, I sort of built my way up through management, and that's how I started Nolan Interior Design.
My name is Kagiso Muima Wamasemene, founder and CEO of Black Motion Production. Black Motion officially was registered in 2005. However, it started when I was only 13 years old, when my mother took me to a live music concert in Mpumalanga. That's where I watched the late Lucky Dube perform on stage. And for some reason, I got lost. My mother couldn't find me, I couldn't find her. So they took us backstage, when they announced, hey, if you lost your child, come pick him up or her up, backstage. So that's where I was, but I got a glimpse of Lucky Dube. And there was this radiant light shining on him and his dreadlocks. And he started to sing, and I thought to myself, I want to do this. I don't know what it is, but I want to be in this entertainment industry. So later, I went to study for lighting and sound at Tshwane University of Technology. I majored in those two subjects, and 5 years later, I registered Black Motion, and that's where it all began.
Some of the challenges that I faced when starting my business was basically getting new business.
Some of the challenges that I encountered when we initially started the business was just not having enough financial capacity.
My operational skills was quite good, but there's a lot of aspects that a new entrepreneur would have to learn. The finances, how to manage the finances, how to be efficient in understanding the finances. It's not only about operations.
Some of the challenges we faced as Black Motion was financing the equipment for the live events entertainment industry, because it's very expensive and it changes rapidly.
I tended to believe that just having the natural skill alone is enough to run the business. But I had to learn through the hard way that it was not.
There's always like a little portion now of having to go and buy some equipment, which we later on reuse with similar kind of orders. So we're constantly reinvesting in our business because we just don't have any, lump sum funding that we acquired in the initial stage. So the business has always been the kind of business that keeps looking after itself as it grows.
There was a lot for me to learn in terms of how a business should be run. because my understanding was I knew the industry, I knew how to operate it, but there were more things behind the scenes.
It is still a struggle. However, we have learned, along with what I'm learning at Race Corp, how to maximize my balance sheet, how to maximize the relationship I have with the suppliers as well of that equipment, and make arrangement with them. However, it is still a major challenge for up-and-coming companies within the same field.
I found out about the Acumen program through Facebook. I was going through my Facebook page and an advert popped up from Race Corp about this Acumen program, and that's when I read up about it and did the online submission. I have been on the Acumen program since August of 2015.
I heard about the program on Metro FM from DJ Spoo, who hosted the shows on Saturdays. It was entrepreneurial shows. And I was intrigued immediately actually, and I was on the phone. I opened my phone, went onto the website, filled in the online form, and I just made sure that I was one of those 30.
We had been in business for 13 years before I've learned of the Acumen program, which I found out about on LinkedIn for some reason. I saw Alon Ray's post on the Acumen program together with Investec, and I thought, hey, you know what? I don't know it all. Let me try something new.
When I first started the Acumen program, my business lacked systems and processes and basically understanding or planning for financial events. So basically, the business was doing fairly well and it was steady. But as we all know, when you are involved in a business, there are more aspects that needs to get attention. So finance, we were struggling in terms of cash flow. The systems and HR systems weren't in place to maximize that, and obviously getting the right quality of staff.
My view of sales was that guy that's knocking and trying to sell you a vacuum cleaner or trying to sell you insurance. So I had a very negative perspective of what sales was. So what the program did was really to unpack what my USP was and what is the benefit that I'm trying to sell to my clients.
The impact to Moorish Cuisine Catering for us having been on the Acumen program has been very significant. In the last year, my business has doubled. In fact, more than doubled, where our revenue grew by 117%, because we used to turn over around 230,000 Rand a month. Now, on average, we're turning over 500,000.
When we started the program, it was just me and one other employee. We're now 7 employees in the business, including myself. And this is in a space of less than 16 months, right? Our turnover, which we did in year 1 of being in the program, we've already achieved in the first 6 months of this financial year. So we're seeing a great growth in the business, and we're now even attracting blue chip companies.
I think the biggest impact that it has on my business is that I've taken my knowledge and I've started to teach my employees and develop and grow them in terms of their knowledge and understanding about business.
We've learned how to balance our books, and now I can speak of our balance sheet with confidence and know what's happening and understand what accounting is.
Our cash business has increased tremendously. Year to date, we actually on par as to our sales, our cash sales of last financial year, and we still have a good 6 months to go till the new financial year is over.
Of all the things that I feel I've gone through in the business, one of the achievements and the most proud moments that I hold to heart is the fact that, in the business we have 23 staff members, and behind those staff members is 23 different families that are getting an income from this business that I dreamt up.
Personal development for me was the greatest achievement so far. the ability to have intellectual conversations around business with guides, for them to challenge you in certain ways and get you out of your comfort zone, for them to challenge you in certain ways to shift your thinking.
What do I think of Investec as a sponsor for the Acumen program? I think that is a great substitute for studying an MBA, for an MBA or MBL, you know, because for someone like myself who had such technical knowledge in the space that I'm in right now, I didn't know anything about business, but I knew, and I'm a creative, you know, I know how to light, I know how to make music, I know how to make people dance and so forth, but I didn't know how to send a proper invoice.
The guys from Investec are very supportive in terms of understanding the business, in terms of also offering sound advice and using their expertise to develop us as entrepreneurs. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me.
The program allows me to go through the different subject matter within the business and address them in the way that I believe, you know, an MBA or MBL will do. So the Acumen program is, you know, is the right thing to have as a business owner or to do as a business owner. So, you know, I think Investec got it right.